You're live.
And welcome back, Internet. Welcome. Post your hopefully skippable commercial. Shout out to being monetized here on YouTube. We
That's
are
right.
back with another Officer's Breakdown. Today was it April 14th?
April 14th, one day before your taxes are due.
Yeah, one day. So, welcome back. Like I said, we go live twice a week, and this is Bill's little pet project of trying to get all of the news. He works tirelessly throughout the week to make sure that we get all of the social media based videos and content that is law enforcement related or incidences and all of that kind of stuff. And compiling a list here. If you guys like this type of stuff and like to see things like Let's Plays and things of that nature, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel. Go ahead and hit the bell notifications so you get announcements when we go live like this. It's Tuesdays and Thursdays currently right now at around 7 ish. Um, I've been playing Ready or Not, although it got grumpy on
Oof,
Tuesday with us.
man,
It was
did it
pretty rough.
ever.
They had an update, and it was a thing. We did have fun, but it was a thing. Today, like I said, we have some Instagram. So I see tabs here that we've got some YouTube things to go through here as
We
well.
do, we do, we
Going to give
do.
you as educational a take on this, unless it pisses us off. In that case, we'll go and just rant about it for a little while. Go check
I
us
don't
out
know if
on
the clip's going to piss me off. Maybe just the way that everyone's been reacting to one of
maybe
these clips is going to
maybe.
piss me off.
So, special thanks to producer Juan. We have some secret merch coming in shortly. We have some merch for the founding members of Only Cops, which is pretty awesome. And by that, I mean our Patreon subs and some of our subscribers and things of that nature. I want to give a shout out to, what was this guy's name? Something Waffles? Some firefighter gave us
Cheesy
like
waffle. The
$100.
cheesy
Cheesy
waffle,
Waffle,
bro.
dude. He gave us like $100 on our stream. I'm still incredibly humbled by that. It's
Yeah,
pretty badass.
crazy.
Special shout out to Chris, the cop, who's been repping us a ton. He gave us a bunch of shout outs. He's been on a lot of our Let's Plays. We've seen a lot of growth on our channel from that. Coffee with a Cop, that was last Saturday. We
Hmm.
got to meet Night Cop 35. That dude is pretty awesome. Go give him, I think he's on Twitch
He's on
only. I don't
Twitch,
know if
yeah.
he's got anything else. Go check us out on TikTok. We got some more shitty admin skits that went live there, so you can go be crusty like the rest of us. And shout out to Sternal Jet. I believe he's going to be starting his YouTube channel. I want to see that. I'm going to be giving Please Post a bunch of love. But until I get too deep into the weeds, and I'll go revisit most of this stuff at the end of this podcast, let's get to the videos. So, Bill, it is your ship. I
We're
am now
actually,
just a passenger.
even though you were late, we're going to start with a post in appreciation of you. Because this is what you did.
That's true. Yeah. I wish there was a school for this. I don't know how you'd teach this, to be honest,
It's
outside of just,
life skills, really.
yeah,
Like,
like,
go be a waiter or work in retail or any like service-based industry where you have to learn how to talk to people.
yeah, one, and even on top of that, like, you really got, specifically in law enforcement, like, there are certain situations you cannot walk away from, and I think
Yeah,
that's the hardest thing to
most.
learn from going, like, from the civilian world to, like, the police world, is, like, in a domestic, like, you gotta investigate that, like, regardless, these could be two both parties could be pissing you off, and ultimately, you still have an investigation to conduct. Same thing with traffic stops, same thing with, just 911 invests, because 'cause you'll get calls that are just as a disturbance.
And it could be 5 in the morning and you're trying to eat lunch.
Yeah, and so but, like, there's so many of these situations where you have a duty to intervene or a duty to investigate, and you can't walk away from these things that 9 times out of 10 people are not happy to see you.
Hmm.
And so being able to walk and talk, most of it's just communication skills and being able to communicate with people without pissing them off. And as the worst form of escalating situations, pretty much 90% of the time is happening verbally. It very rarely, just because someone immediately went hands on, does it like get way off the wall. 9 times out of 10, something leaves their mouth, pisses somebody off, and then you're off to the races and
And
fucking
usually it's an
police and all
officer
that
that
kind of
shows
stuff.
up after you've already been there.
Yeah. So shout out to
Usually.
police posts. I think it's great. I think it's great advice.
Yeah. So this doesn't really have sound. It's just worth watching. And another reason I'm so glad we don't work where it snows a lot.
Jeez.
literally missed this dude by
Easily,
an inch.
yeah, easily a career-ending injury right here, if not possibly life-threatening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because honestly, had it left the roadway like a half second later, he
Yep.
could be dead.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have had time to move.
Or if it had hit the car just a little bit differently, where the car spun instead of kind of just went
Sure.
straight back. Yeah.
Imagine like the wheels were canted or something like
Yeah.
that. And it kind of
Yeah.
whipped around.
Yep.
Yeah, highways used to give me a lot of heartburn. We had 2 interstates that ran through our city, and I had about a good 2 or 3 miles of one of them, and I hated getting on there. Every single time
Yep.
there was an accident, I hated getting on there, especially at night.
And they were always busy. Like,
Dude, also, shout out. I will say this, as much as I do gripe every once in a while about my old department, they were very, very, very generous with road flares. I
yes,
had
yes,
road
they
flares
were.
for
Yes, they
days.
were.
I must have gone through like $2,000 worth of road flares, if not more. And that's because they bulk buy them. You know that we used to have a whole shed full of those things. And I give me an excuse. I was out there.
Yeah.
You'd have thought I was trying to hunt for T-Rex. You'd chum in the highway for him with the amount of road flares I
Yeah.
used to use.
They were worth
And
it though.
hey, shout out to whatever company provide the. I used to use a bunch of those, and they worked really, really well. What's the next one?
Why don't you go check the chat real quick?
Oh. Which chat?
The super chat we just got from Napalm Bath.
Oh, we got a super chat. Hold on. Let me go check it.
$10, bro.
Oh my guy.
Yeah.
I feel blessed here. Hold on. Let me get. I don't have the chat open. I have it open now. Oh, I gotta mute myself here. Napalm Bath. Whoop whoop. That's the sound of the police. I sung it. Demonetized. Shout out to Napalm. I appreciate it, man. Also Napalm Bath. What a savage name.
It's an awesome name.
You know what that reminds me of? You remember? I think it was the very first Call of Duty that took place during I don't know if it was Vietnam. They had a SPOS 12 with phosphorus rounds.
Yes.
And that's what it's like. I could
Yeah.
see somebody writing Napalm Bath on the side of one of those shells. And anyways, now that we're officially demonetized, thank
It's
you
fine.
for the super
Yeah.
chat.
Worth
Hey, for
it.
anybody, hey, shout out to Brian Porter that's already in here. If you guys have law enforcement related questions, let us know. Oh, apparently this is the first live stream he's made.
Yep.
Well, welcome, Napalm Bath. You have purchased your way into my heart. Partner Gaming. What's up, fellas? What's going on, my dude?
So this
All
is
right.
Mr. Police Posts himself on
Hey,
his
look at this sexy bastard.
His other whatever you want to call it, Instagram.
Of course, everybody sees this. Everybody sees everything. Everybody on the range doing their fucking cool stuff, right? But we have to take into consideration that nothing is going to be just from this position or even this position. There's going to be times where you're going to have to rotate or even get up off the ground. One thing that hard plates limit is flexion and extension of the spine. And what that limits is the ability to move and get up somewhat in a quick and safe manner. But there are ways that we can adapt our training to overcome some of these inadequacies in movement due to our gear. Now, your gear should always work for you. You shouldn't just wear gear because it looks cool. It should enhance your job. That's what gear should do. But sometimes
It can also look
things like
cool.
plates are extremely
It can look
necessary,
cool.
especially in this profession.
Tell Batman,
So,
you know.
That's right.
One example would be trying to get up off the ground, right? We can always
Better get up and base, boy.
try to do a basic sit-up. Now, without the hard plates, it's pretty easy to do a sit-up. You basically do a crunch. But with hard plates, what this doesn't allow is for spinal flexion. And so for me to get up, I can do it with possibly a little momentum, and it's not that bad. But if I'm to do it with just cross my arms on my plate carrier and try to get up, it's almost impossible. It's very, very difficult to do so.
Heck, that's the case with the regular
one way
vest.
around
Like
it
Kevlar,
is to do
Yeah.
it sucked with the Kevlar
Turkish
vest.
get-up
Sure
or
did.
Tactical stand-up motion, to where we can come and almost come to our side, almost come to one hip, and come up this way.
Better get up and
This
base, boy.
doesn't allow us to really come up in an unsafe manner, and it's actually more of a tactically sound position because now
Tactically
you're able
sound.
to actually defend if there's strikes, or if somebody is coming, you're also able to now engage, and you can also get up quickly.
That is getting up.
safely.
Oh, base
Pretty close.
violation.
Those that are super mobile,
It was pretty
Yeah, we-
there are
close.
ways
You got
can even
smoked like a
get up
motherfucker
without
for
even
that.
having to use a panic. Where if you're here, right, you can actually get up like this. Notice how I didn't just sit up. I was able to manipulate my legs and my body.
He did that in
Core
jeans.
strength
Yeah.
What a monster.
Stand up.
Yeah.
And my hands are completely free. So
not only does he post great,
Bro, that's
Police
pretty good. That's actually a really
posts.
good video.
he posts good training on his other Instagram.
So the very first, and I want to give another thank you to Napalm Bath. This made my afternoon, my dude. But it was the first thing I noticed the first time I had to put on in Academy. When I had to put on my Kevlar vest, I was really surprised. Bro, my guy. Oh, okay, we got to stop. I was blessed once again by Napalm Bath. Do I get to keep my clothes on, Napalm?
Please say yes.
We got a $100 super chat from
What?
Napalm Bath. So I want to give a special thank you to him.
Bro.
I got to read this comment here. Call of Duty is where I got this name. Oh my God, he did get it from Call of Duty. Hell yes. That's incredible.
That is incredible.
I used it always to use the napalm kill streak. Oh, that's true. I think it was
Damn, okay. You must be
'cause
pretty
it
good
was
if you're
like
getting napalm kill streaks.
yeah, I don't remember the very first Call of Duty that used to do this. It's one of the older ones, but they used to have it was an F4 Phantom that would come across the sky and it would just
Yeah.
fucking napalm. Like it was like
Napalm, yeah.
basically an alleyway, and you used to call it in,
Yeah.
and you could kind of directionally move it or whatever. Shout out to that. Special thanks to Napalm Bath. You're the real MVP. Speaking of which, so I can say it now because Napalm Bath has kind of forced my hand here. We're getting special founders patches. They're badge patches. They should be coming in pretty shortly, so we're going to unveil them. Producer Juan did a really awesome. No, take them off, my guy. so that I don't get us demonetized.
I'm
here.
keeping my shirt on, buddy. Nobody wants to see this.
I'll show you all a little skin. Here you go. I'm all about some self exploitation, but the anyways, we're getting some badge patches. So producer Juan designed us a patch. It's pretty awesome, and then so we'll be making sure we get out one of those for you, or getting one of those out to you. It was called Call of Duty Black Ops. It was Black Ops because it was the one that had all the numbers and all that shit.
Yeah.
And there was Reznov, and like you were like basically a schizophrenic because you were like mind screwed while you were in a gulag. That was a pretty good campaign actually.
Yeah.
It was that and like the one level they let you use explosive arrows.
Yes.
Pretty OP.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure. I think it's Crisis. I think had that before then. It was like Crisis, and then they had a couple sequels to Crisis. But
Also,
that was a very
Napalm Bath. Hit us up on Instagram. Slide
into
them DMs, bro.
Yeah, message us on Instagram so we can get you some cool stuff. I don't ever let, especially humongous super chats like that. I don't ever let those go unrewarded. So message that, and one of us will get back with you to get you some stuff. Only Gobs is OnlyFans. He's bought his way into our OnlyFans or our OnlyFans account.
Well, we do have a Patreon.
We do have a Patreon. It's practically a less cool or less scandalous version of that.
For now.
Yeah, for now.
We
keep getting super chats.
Getting these big super chats.
No,
we might have to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go his arrow on that. So anyways, going back to what I was talking about. So the first time you put on a vest, you don't realize how restrictive it is. And even a Kevlar vest, it's kind of like to try to describe this to somebody that's never put on like a flak jacket or a Kevlar vest. It legitimately from probably just under your diaphragm. It's like in between your belly button and your diaphragm. Is pretty much locked. Like you cannot really. You can hunch a little bit.
It's flexible, but not.
Yeah, it's
fabric
not now,
flexible.
Plates way worse. Plates are awful comparatively because there's zero movement in them.
And we had when we were issued our plates in the academy, they were like 30 years old, so they weren't even like body contoured. They were just like big rectangle plates.
Do you guys remember Back to the Future? I think it's like the third one. When he goes in the Wild West, he takes like a boiler plate and hangs it on his chest. That's kind of
what ours were like. Legitimately,
they took a police patch and put it on a boiler plate and they called it body armor. So Those were our rifle plates
Yeah.
that I put on like once maybe.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but yeah, that was a pretty good video. It's funny because he like half got up in base. We were jujitsu. We had a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu certified DT instructor that all of our. I actually recently looked up my TCOL hours the other day, and I think we only get like 8 hours of like credit for it, but it
Yeah.
was like hundreds of hours of actually doing
a
defensive
ton
tactics.
of hours.
But the reason why I said that boy better get up in base is we had a thing that if you don't get up with three, just Google getting up in base. But like it's getting up with 3 points of contact to make sure that if somebody's attacking you while you're trying to get up, that you're more stable.
Yeah.
If they called them base violations. If you violated base and they caught you, you would have to go in front of the entire class. And there's like 40 of us, I think.
41, bro.
41, that's right.
Way too many of us.
And you'd have to say, hey, I'm, Officer Josh, I'm an idiot. I did a base violation. And depending on how many we had done, this is like, what was it, like 7 months? And we had a bunch of fuck ups in our class.
Yeah.
So like,
That's why I said 41 was too many.
All the time. You would have to do like, let's say I committed the 17th base violation of Academy. You would have to do 17 base violations. And if someone else did it on the same day, we'd have to start back to 1. And then you had to do, 18.
Yeah.
And then if we had one day where we had 4.
And what do we do burpees for violations? What do we do?
No, we did get up in bases, which didn't seem like that big a deal until you had to do like 70 of them. And then
but I thought there was a punishment also. I don't remember.
Right then and there. Either way,
our class sucked. So
I to this day get up in base every time. Shout out. He's retired now, so I can say this. But shout out to Charlie because he changed my life.
Yeah, literally.
Shout out to Police Post again. Here, shout out. Was it South Lake or South Lake Police?
Salt Lake City, bro.
Salt Lake City. Sorry.
They're responding to a scene after reports that a man stabbed a woman.
Good. Okay. All right. Let's go for it.
When a man stabs a woman.
9/11.
So, quick story. On my final oral board, this was my exact scenario that they asked me. Like, it was like a shoot or don't shoot scenario.
Oh, yeah.
And they said, you get to a park, someone says, a man over there stabbed a woman. He's standing over her with the knife. I said, "Oh, I shoot him." And they're like, "Are you sure?" They're like, "Are you sure that's the answer you want to go with?" And I said, "Yeah, I shoot him." And they were like, were like, "Okay, good answer."
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Myself, 916, you're gonna be.
Hey, he's got the knife in his hand. Yo, put the knife down.
Pioneer Park.
Put it down.
I said, nah, bro.
Yeah.
Put the knife down.
He's ready for this to be his last day.
Taser.
No.
Put the knife down. Stop it.
Taser my
Put the knife down now. Put it down. Drop the knife. Drop it. Put the knife down. Let it go, man. Come on, I want to help you. We want to help you. Put the knife down.
Channel 3 restricted. Shots fired 838.
Guarantee you somebody keys up.
Come on, man. Hey, come on. Come on, man. We want to help. Where you hit?
Bro, throw that knife.
Come on, man. We want to help. Where you hit, buddy?
Yeah,
Come on, man.
Yeah, he's in hydrostatic shock.
Huh? He did. I heard him breathing. Hey, come on, man. Where you hit, dude? Tell us where you're at. Come on, I want to help you.
Let's secure this guy. Pause it real quick. So, I'm down. I'm glad they kept distance. You can't get too mad. They got to go and engage this guy because he's already stabbing people. This is aggravated assault, if not attempted murder in progress.
Public park, dude. You have a responsibility.
That being said, backstops are poo-poo here. Like in any direct, this is 360 degrees of poo-poo backstops. One of the things that and it's actually, They did a really good job of approaching this guy by being separated, so they're not all just standing right next to each other in the office. Because this guy could also produce like a firearm or something like that,
Yeah.
or just even chucking the knife. You separate yourself so that he has to pick one of you, basically.
Yeah.
The only downside is I don't know if you noticed this, but when he started running, he then makes a Jacob. Oh my goodness. He then creates this weird right angle where his Jacob. Oh my god! I just realized what his comment was for. Oh my god. But the anyways, that his backstop goes from being like a really deep field to like the street, and then possibly the other officer, and so that's the one time where that positioning goes from being really awesome to kind of really shitty. To be honest, I thought that they waited. I was pretty courageous of them to wait. They let him run pretty far before they decided. Like he seems pretty motivated at that point. If he's in a full sprint, he's pretty motivated. Here's where a patrol rifle actually makes a ton of sense. Like a whole lot of sense, because in this situation you just plant your feet and do your business. Um, and this is really where the limitations of a handgun and then moving and running and all that stuff really kind of come into play. I'd like to think there's a situation where you can de-escalate this, but there's not. Just to be honest with you,
No.
once someone's
He was
that
so
committed,
determined.
that's what I'm saying. When he's that committed, he didn't even engage in verbal discourse with them. He just sprinted. So he and again, this the kind of the problem with these OISs is that like it continues to perpetuate this idea. All I need to do is have a knife in my hand and run at the police, and it just shouldn't have to be that way. I don't think this is a call where a social worker can necessarily be utilized just because the level of danger that you're putting them in is kind of unreasonable. I could see maybe like a crisis intervention team having one there,
To maybe talk to him, but you're still gonna need.
you're gonna have it would have played out the same way.
Yeah.
And there's not a single verbal cue that you can throw at this person that's going to disarm them. So, anyways, we'll keep. Well, this sucks that this happened. This is a real strong indication of mental health issues. But
Help. Come on, buddy.
Yeah. Well.
yeah, if I had to give the only critique I have is kind of like what he said was let's get that knife completely out of that situation, and then let's try to get this guy handcuffed a lot faster, because you really can't start to work on him until, because again there was no frisk post that, and it's because he's not fully controlled, so I don't want to be reaching around on this guy.
Right.
But if you quickly get him into handcuffs, you can quickly assess
What's going on?
the nature of his injuries and things like that. And this is kind of the bigger conversation we're having with Chris the cop, is having tactical medicine skills here. I don't know that any amount of chest seals or whatever, based on the way that he fell, my fear is that he got hit somewhere pretty critical. He probably died before he hit that ground. But anyways, we'll go on to the next one. And yes, Jacob, he do, or I guess he did. Past tense. I don't think he does anymore.
So this is also from Salt Lake City.
Bro, Salt Lake City. Or South Lake City, as I kept saying.
South Lake City. We'll just watch it.
Shout out to Ford. Oh shit, he's already getting shot at.
Show me your hand.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Yeah, no kidding, my dude. Bro, everybody with these red dots, my guy.
It's the new thing, dude.
Jeez, dude. Ah, look at that.
No, he's going past 184.
Jesus, dude. Jeez, dude.
Yeah.
Over not going to jail, dude. I don't get it. Oh, I don't know that I'm down for that.
Eh.
I don't know that I'm down for that, my guy. Hey, he thought better of it. He figured it out.
We'll just say the stress got to him.
For sure. I mean, which who are we to judge?
Right.
You know, I mean, I get it. Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, when I see stuff like this, and it kind of brings back to the idea that like you really do have some people that are that motivated. This reminds me of the shooting that they had in Houston, where they were pursuing a guy. Man, vehicle pursuits are sketchy. You get people that are really, and what I don't understand is like how somebody gets that motivated to just like kill somebody. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's not just the running portion. And I don't know what crime he committed to get himself into said pursuit. I don't know if there's any context for that, but like, again, didn't engage verbally at all. Didn't like, you know, fuck 12 or anything. Like, not that he just immediately out to.
Yeah.
Had he been a better shot, there's probably two dead cops right there.
Decision
They
was
didn't even have a
made.
chance to
Well,
get
and it was after a carjacking and then a pursuit. So
and like
he had time to make his mind up in the pursuit that was
yeah,
that.
he wasn't going or whatever. And like it there's that whatever percentage you, and I'm sure some statistician can go and fill us in on this, but man, there's a portion of the population that legitimately just like does not give a shit.
Yeah.
And like y'all don't have to deal with them often, periodic as in the civilian world, but you'd imagine like the rudest person you know that's in the most enraged state he can possibly be, then give them a firearm, then give them a narrative that you're practically the devil because you're in law enforcement. It's such a strange the headspace you have to be in to be the suspect in this point. Like that makes zero sense to me.
It's wild.
Yeah, what's going on here?
I don't know the
Yo, shout out to Police
Captain's
Post.
YOLO. So wow.
Damn.
Wow.
Oh my God, do you see this?
Yes.
Leroy Jenkins. What a wild man, dude. So I guess I'm guessing he was unlocked. I think I remember this. This is relatively old. But what a crazy bastard, dude.
This is my favorite comment.
Yeah. I don't believe this is in the States,
It's
given
not.
the
Look at the
uniforms
cars
and
and
all
the
that stuff.
uniform.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely not. Somewhere in Europe.
This is probably whatever's legal for them out there and across the pond. But, bro, what an absolute freak, dude. I tell you what, he's hanging. He'd be giving Napalm Bath a much better show than me if he took his clothes off.
Yeah.
That guy's a bigger man.
Do you think
than
the gun went off into the ground or what?
Well, so what my guess is if it's like especially with like breech open shotguns and stuff like that, all of those older trigger mechanisms.
Yeah.
The sear to hammer interface is really simple. It's literally just like two pieces of metal resting on each other. No springs, no nothing. You really can hit these things against the wall if they're loaded.
And it'll go off.
It'll get the sear to slip.
It looks like she had a knife too.
God, what a crazy.
Or maybe it was a what the hell are they called? A bayonet.
Yeah, it probably was a bayonet. Napalm Bast asked, so stupid question. Why don't cops have the rifle / long gun as their default and a handgun as a secondary? It seems really strange to me the biggest reason why
too bad.
Well, there's that, but there's also most of your job in law enforcement, and I don't agree that it looks bad, but that's typically the way that citizens are gonna look at this. Most of your job is going hands-on. So your job is not necessarily like there's so much investigating. You really need to be hands-free. And can you do that with a sling? Yes. But we're spending most of our time in and out of police cars. So typically the way our SOPs worked with utilizing a patrol rifle was that if I was going to a shots pretty much if there was gunshots happening, I was deploying my rifle first because I didn't want to use a handgun if I didn't have to. A handgun, and the military really has the good mindset on this. It is a secondary weapon. It is a last ditch. My rifle's not working, or my rifle's not near me, and my pistol's designed to get me to my rifle. In the law enforcement setting, it's not a huge part of the job. Every single OIS you see, that's probably the one time in that person's career that they ever even put their finger on the trigger, not to mention, you know what I mean? Heck, in most of the uses of forces I had utilizing a firearm, I didn't touch the trigger the whole time. That includes my rifle. You're doing it as part of SOPs because I'm either going to an unknown threat situation, or I have somebody holding a knife, or I have somebody, doing some crazy nonsense like that. Or
I only came off safe on my rifle once, and it was like 2 seconds to using it.
I think I did twice. I had one. We had a felony warrant on a guy. I guess we get story time here. We had a felony warrant on a guy, and we were in like a really crappy. Our favorite supervisor was on that one.
Oh,
the one that used to like to catch DWIs at 5:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
We had one of our rookies on a shield because we were trying to approach the door to go knock and announce or whatever, and there was no good way to approach it, and he was known to have weapons. And so I was on rifle duty then, and he didn't realize we were there. As we're approaching the door, he swung it open because he was mad about something completely unrelated to us. And I remember flipping the safety off there and being like, "R.I.P. all of our ears," because we're like in a like in the hallway of an apartment. It's like a duplex kind of.
Yep.
And then the other one was Propane Boy.
Yeah.
We had a guy that threatened to like burn down his apartment complex with a propane tank. And what else did he do? He shot a shotgun off his porch, but not at anybody. And it was this whole ordeal. And anyways, he broke out his window with like a not a pipe. I really thought it was the barrel of a gun. And I remember fully coming off safety and like actually starting to prep said trigger because I was like, well, I'm about to start sailing these things in that window. And fortunately, he didn't shoot at us, so we were fine. But it was the only 2 times on my patrol rifle I ever even came off safe. I had it a lot, pointed it at a lot of things, but and again, like I said, it's the SOPs are very different as standard operating procedures in law enforcement because the job is very different. We are not occupying territory; we are floating within sovereign people and being sent to situations where we think crime's afoot or whatever.
Also, realistically, cops don't fight at distance.
No, most of these are happening very, very close.
Yeah, like in the park situation, that's different. Like that dude's far. Like yes, a patrol rifle would have made sense.
And I even mentioned it. I was like, yeah, at that distance, it makes a little bit more sense. The other issue too is room clearing, and this is something that you don't realize until you have to do it all the time. Rifles suck for that.
Yes,
like
especially a full-size rifle. Yeah,
yeah, like they really, and even when you're getting into like, until you get to like short SPRs, you're talking like 10 inches.
But then you add a suppressor, and it's
so it's not terribly useful, and especially because we're typically spending in apartments or we're in office buildings and stuff like that. Like
or
when
Walmart.
you're room clearing, to Walmart, Jesus, dude. It's not terribly helpful if it makes any sense. And there's not too often like places to rest it. And then you can imagine if you get in a standoff, like holding a rifle is like the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Because you end up doing this. Like there's no barricades. We're not doing a lot. We don't get to do this a lot. It's just a very different animal. I liked having it on my hands if I thought I was going to get into a shooting, but most of the time it's just simply not the case. So, and also carrying it would be a bitch to have, especially for the guys on foot patrol.
Yeah.
You spend way more of your time doing paperwork than you do pointing guns at people, and that's why. Versus the military, it's the inverse. You spend way more time pointing guns at stuff and less time doing paperwork. So.
Very true.
Shout out to whoever this is. This isn't a police post, so.
No, this is not. This isn't exactly like police related, but it's just like awareness related. So. We don't really need the music.
Yeah, we don't need the music.
There's some dialogue that they talk about it, but...
Paying for a thing.
Yeah, so little girl in some South American country, we won't make any judgments on which one, buying ice cream. This lady sees this guy acting weird. I guess he's not acting that weird. It's just kind of weird. But then she sees, oh, that car door's open. This is interesting. Whoop.
Like, nah, fam. That's shady, dude.
Super quick.
That's so shady.
So, shout out to that lady.
So what she just exhibited is a concept called situational awareness. And if you want to bring it back up really quickly, I can break this down really quickly. So this guy's having a phone conversation, right? And there's nothing weird about the phone conversation. And I didn't even notice the door until it was pointed out both in the video and that you happened to point it out.
Yeah.
But notice her first look is like, oh, there's a guy there talking on the phone or whatever. Her second looks like, wow, this guy's really just straight up having a phone conversation, chilling here on the, which is like a dumb place to have one
Yes.
because it's got to be super loud. Like to think you'd want to be inside to
In
have
front
that
of a
conversation.
store, like
Sure. I think she finally put one and two together. She's like, wait, the door's open
yeah,
and he's there. It's not that one thing. It's suspicious. A lot of times we talk about the totality of the circumstances. Someone walking down the street is not suspicious. It's someone walking down the street with a very heavy hoodie on in the middle of the summer with what looks like a large metallic object in their hand. You know,
yeah.
like that you have to look at the entire context of something and then try to figure out if, and again, she didn't go and try to fight this guy. She didn't
No,
yell at this guy, but
not
she,
at
and
all.
now I'm not advocating for you getting in between people and, well, no, if they're trying to abduct children, you need to step up if you're an adult. But
Yeah, agreed.
um, here's where having skills, training, fitness, tools, possibly, depending on if you live in the free world or not, um, to be able to handle that situation, but at least call it out if you're having, if you're seeing stuff like that. So Napalm Beth says that makes sense. For thanks for the info, no problem. Shout out to MP5s and things like that because now PCCs, those would make a lot more sense in a law enforcement context because then you have something that you can get 3 points of contact on and fight as if it's a rifle without having to worry about all of the issues that come with it. So I will say that I do think there's a bigger discussion on having law enforcement agencies move to a caliber. We've talked about 300 blackout because you could shoot those out of way shorter guns. Or again, pistol caliber carbines. Like again, like I have a Chris Vector. You have like MP5s, things like that. MPXs. These are considerably shorter, and the operating systems are designed to work in sizes like that. The new cool thing, they call them cheek pistols, and literally it's designed to press it against you. These things are tiny; they're like this
Yeah.
big, but it's designed to be pressed against your cheek, and you see clamp it. It's pretty fascinating, but I don't know that's catching on terribly quickly, but um, that there's a conversation to be had about that. Anyway, shout out for producer Juan with situational awareness.
Hey,
Shout
stop
out.
your car!
Oh Jesus!
9-5, shots fired, shots fired!
Another red dot.
Bro, they're killing me with these red dots, dude.
Put the
I'm so
gun
jelly.
down! Hey, stop your car!
So you can't really see much, but suicide by cop situation. Suspect hops out of his car, advances on an officer holding an object, making it look like a gun. Multiple witnesses thought suspect had a gun. So it's
Wow.
reasonable to believe that the officer did also think that.
And I probably hash this every single time we watch one of these, but um the criteria in which you're going to judge a peace officer by the actions they're doing, specifically in a use of force, is the reasonableness of the situation. So, is it reasonable for an officer to guess at what's in your hand, especially if you're making some sort of attempt, and this has to be articulated in reports, and there has to be some sort of cooperating evidence. But and having witnesses does help. But like, if I'm holding a phone like this versus holding a phone like this, it's very different. And even heck, you can kind of even see it. If you didn't know what you were looking at a very quick glance, that's very different than
Yeah.
holding something like it. It's just different. And so when you're having to make a snap-second decision and being wrong might mean your life or serious bodily injury, and the same could be said also technically in a civilian context, although depending on where you're at, you have a duty to retreat and stuff like that. But don't do stupid stuff around police officers. It's just dumb. Nothing's worth your life, or just in people in
What
general.
a great segue to this video.
Oh, it's the Grand Rapids one.
Yeah.
There's been some discussions on our Discord about this, so I haven't seen it yet.
So for those of you that don't know, I'm from outside of Grand Rapids, so clearly this got sent to me several times by people, and I even have family members who want to argue with me about it. So it is what it is.
We're here for it. Is there audio on this?
Yeah. So this is a 3-minute and 11 clip. We'll watch this and see what it shows. I also have the YouTube video pulled up. It's a lot longer, but I just want to see what kind of camera angles we get on this, and then we might watch a little bit more of it on YouTube because there's some good angles on YouTube.
Stay in the car.
So first things first, he made a traffic stop on this car because the plate does not match the vehicle description. Would you ever let that car go when we were on patrol? You can't.
No.
Like,
so the reason being is that's a high likelihood that vehicle's stolen.
Yeah.
Because it's a common MOS that, and a lot of times they're sophisticated. They'll take it'll be like a Honda Civic, like a blue Honda Civic, and they'll steal a plate, like the front plate. In Texas, you have to have front and back plates. They'll steal a front plate off a Honda Civic that's a blue Honda Civic and put it on their car, but you're like, it's like a 2005 Honda Civic, and you're staring at like a 2013. You're like, no, this is not the same.
This doesn't make sense.
So that's also indicative of things like drug trafficking, human trafficking. They'll typically steal a car before they do stuff like that, and most of it's to try to not have that, because you can do whatever it is that you're going to go do and then ditch the car, and they can't trace it back to you.
Yes.
It's kind of the reason why you're having stuff like this. You're stopping that car no matter what.
Yeah. And this is at like 8 in the morning. Yeah. 8:11. It's raining. I found out this officer is actually from a different, like, it's still Grand Rapids. He's just from a different part of Grand Rapids that actually has their own police department. So it's kind of weird, but
he's part of like a task force or something?
No, so he works for what's called East Grand Rapids Police Department, but they're not part of the Grand Rapids Police Department. So it's not like a separate division. It's like they have a whole separate department, which is weird. I didn't know that before, but
yeah.
So he stops him. The car pulls over, and the driver immediately gets out. Like, he's out before this cop is out. In the rain, which that was my first, like, who gets out of their car in the rain?
Sure.
So we'll see.
Stay in the car. Stay in the car. Get in the car. Dude, I'm stopping you. Do you have a license? Do you have a license?
For what?
I'm stopping you. Do you have a license?
What done?
Do you have a driver's license? Do you speak English?
Yes.
Can I see your license?
What do you want?
The plate doesn't belong on this car. Do you have a license or no? Do you have a driver's license?
Yes.
Where is it at?
It's in the car.
Get it for me.
What do you want?
The plate does not belong on this car.
Amen.
There's a passenger in there also.
So I'm not gonna lie, I'd be asking for a back the second that guy got out of that car.
Well, and he called out the traffic stop. But again, so that's my thing with him being from a different department. I don't think that Grand Rapids PD even knows this is going on yet. And you're going to get real mad here in a second.
It's like, man, if I have two subjects and I got somebody being this not helpful.
No, stop. Put your hands right. Stop. 1915, you got one running. Northbound.
Pause it real quick.
Stop.
So, shout out to the Mike Loop guy. What was his name?
Sergeant Tuttle on Instagram.
Sergeant Tuttle. Okay, I need everybody right now that's watching this, all 80 of you that are currently on here right now, go to Sergeant Tuttle's thing, go buy a Mike Loop if you're a cop, and go buy a damn handheld thing.
So
there's zero reason for that.
Last year, when Tank was still a cop working for Tarrant County, he used to buy Mike Loops and give them, or I don't know, maybe he worked with Sergeant Tuttle. I think his name's Nick. Maybe he worked with him, and they gave Mike Loops out to departments that couldn't afford them, even though they're only like $12.
They're not expensive, yeah.
So, but he doesn't even have the portable.
The extension. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like he's got, because you have there's like a wired extension to have like a handheld.
That's basically the same radio we used. But obviously we had
You are going to have a
extension.
very hard time controlling somebody with one hand.
Yeah.
Especially a grown man. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. This dude is not small. Like, the driver's not small.
Sure. And like, I'm not here to just completely dunk on this officer, but like,
it gets worse.
If somebody's already resisting, right, or somebody's already not listening to your orders, I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably not even approaching this guy if he's being a dick like that.
If he got out of the car that immediately fast, why and how did you not say send me a back?
Yeah,
right now.
And then when you realize that I now have a secondary subject in this car, I'm probably asking for a third. And mind you, I was in a much bigger police department where it wasn't a big deal for me to ask for a third.
Yeah.
I felt like I needed it. Now, if you're asking for a third and it's like there's an old lady in the roadway or something like that, you're probably getting made fun of. But like,
it happened.
The likelihood, again, the behavior of him leaving the vehicle, and then the second you start trying to verbally talk to this guy, if he's not being cooperative and stuff like that, like these are all, again, what we call pre-attack cues is what we're looking at. These are all indicators that this person's not going to be cooperative.
Oh, he did it perfectly,
going to be combative. Yeah.
He looked both ways. He was like, oh, which way could I run faster?
Yeah.
He's not answering the questions either because he doesn't have a good answer or some other reason.
And the other thing too, and there is no way to immediately tell if someone's lying. So anyone that tells you that's full of shit. However, when you ask somebody a simple question and their first response is, they're making up a lie. Yeah. 9 times out of 10, like it'd be one thing if you say like, "What's your name?" and they're like,
Josh.
My name, Josh. They're like, you've been saying your name your whole life.
My name's Josh.
And again, that's not you can't use that as PC to say, well, I know he's lying. It doesn't count for that, but it's
good indicator.
A clue.
Yeah.
It's
a clue.
Like a little paw print should come up and be like, this is a clue. This guy's making stuff up.
Let me get my handy dandy notebook.
I'd go minimum traffic and request an additional. Yeah, 100%. We called it 1033 traffic, which basically mean that like you want the channel, and to get people to get the hell off the radio. Reese, he knows what's going on. He definitely. And shout out to Brian Porter for having a 300 blackout set up at his unit. I'm jealous.
Must be nice.
After producer one says after watching this video a few breakdowns ago, the guy got out of the car, immediately started shooting. My heart rate shot up. Oh, jeez, that's true though. Well, and that's kind of why I say like until you've had to do the job long enough and had people resist enough times on you to know, like you're on a razor's edge a lot of times in these use of force scenarios of like the difference in between getting shot at and killed and just like somebody being a little bit of an asshole. It's pretty small.
Yeah.
It looks like the way you're receiving it as far as information, there's very little difference. And the time you have to react to that or address it is nothing, like seconds typically. So. Hey, Blues Clues. Ghost Cops.
Stop!
Okay. Dang.
Stop! Stop!
He no longer has his radio.
Nope.
Get your hands behind your back! Okay. Hands
not
behind your back!
Okay. Pause it. A child could come up and kill him at this point.
Yeah.
Literally, an 8-year-old.
Yep. His body cam's gonna fall off here in a second. So,
and now he no longer. And again, this is it's a what I'd say total. Probably a $35 fix, maybe a $40 fix to this issue, right now. As far as equipment, as a city, and this is I'm talking to you city managers out there or you police chiefs out there. Are you really going to sit there and nitpick at $45 an officer?
I bet you can get a grant from Motorola.
That he doesn't need the ability to, while fighting somebody, key up on the radio. Because this is right now currently hampering the shit out of his ability to.
Because he's trying to hold on to that radio.
Yeah. Right now, dispatch is trying to figure out why the hell they can't hear what the hell he keyed up, but didn't say anything. They obviously they heard a scuffle. They're trying to figure out where he is. They're trying to figure out what's going on.
Yep.
They're asking a bunch of questions. A bunch of dicks getting on the radio saying 10-9.
Yep.
As opposed to just getting to him. But like, I don't know, man. We'll keep going.
Put your hands behind your back. 1850. Start with more cars. Okay. Stop. Okay. Stop resisting.
You're still in a fight, my dude. Pause it real quick. So I'm not gonna lie, him grabbing at the taser, I could totally take his reflex. As dumb as that sounds, and as hard as that's gonna sound to police officers that are watching this, if someone pulled a taser on me, my first instinct, knowing what a taser is, would be to grab at it. And at that distance, you are not in tasing people distance.
Well, you saw it didn't work.
There's that, but like, and we talked about this, I think, in our last body cam breakdown. But like, you tase somebody inside of like 10 feet, the taser probe distance does not go far enough to create NMI or neuromuscular interference or whatever the hell it is. If you do not accomplish that, it does nothing but cause them pain. You might as well slap them in the face. It's at least more effective because you will guarantee to hit them and hurt them.
Yeah.
Versus a taser probe. One taser probe does nothing. Short mic holders work too. I've used it since 2003. It's a piece of elastic tied in a knot slip. Yeah, it's not bad. I had the Balanchi holder. That thing was bomb proof. That thing wasn't going anywhere. I after I switched to that from the plastic one, that thing went nowhere.
Yeah.
But currently right here, so you're hands-on somebody. You're not handcuffing someone that's not either fully complied or fully controlled. You are not going into the handcuffing
were on the
procedure.
ground. They were on the ground, and this dude was able to stand back up. So there was no control there.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. And even while he's standing up, like just because you have one or maybe both of his hands behind his back, if he is still tensely pulling against you, even if you have him in the handcuffing position, you are not in a handcuffing situation. I'm going to be honest. If I'm hands-on with a guy like this and I'm by myself in the middle, I'm probably letting this guy go. Yeah, that sounds stupid. And you can talk about cowardice and all that kind of stuff. Anybody could come kill me at this point. Anybody could come kill me.
He didn't look like he wanted to let go because he grabbed at the cop's shoulder.
Yeah. And if that's the case, it's different. If you're in a fight, you're in a fight. Let's go. But like, this is why you get it back. This is why all that stuff. And if the guy were to run up to your car and you're in a fight, fine, go handle business. And this is what you go work out.
And that was my thing in the beginning. Like, had he just run from the car, fine. You know what he looks like. You have the car, fine. Sure. But he like ran half-assedly behind the car and then to the side and like let the cop catch him. And then when they were separated, as he's got enough distance to pull the taser out, the suspect grabs his shoulder.
Sure.
And that's when he tries to tase him.
And like I said, it's not a taser situation. I would guarantee you if you asked if you gave the taser reps this scenario, they would advise not to do it. Because
it's not going to do anything, just like it didn't. So
we'll keep going.
Go to the taser.
No, he ain't grab no taser. I see that.
Let go of the taser.
There's people on the radio.
So taser's in his hand.
Yeah.
Get back.
Oh, he's totally shut down, dude.
Yeah.
Which I get it. He's in a situation, but
yeah. So that's that. But there's this.
In-car video recording begins 90 seconds prior to activation.
So this is what the department
Audio recording
released.
begins at activation.
So he's calling out the traffic stop. Boom. Out of the car.
Hey, stay in the car. Stay in the car.
Passengers out now.
Yeah.
They're still resting.
There's also somebody behind him too. You can see it.
Yeah,
on the other side of that car.
Yep, from this house, I think. saw that.
This is the entire video obtained from a third-party cell phone recording.
Yeah. Now you say he's good, but man, yo, what's up, man?
He's also reaching for his belt here. That's shady as hell. Or no, he's got his arm behind him.
I think he's trying to pull his pants up, honestly.
Well, and like, I don't know, man.
No, he's good. He's not resisting nothing, bro. Okay, why you gotta do all that, bro? He good, man.
That was the sound of a taser discharging.
He actually got pretty decent side control there. He loops his hand behind his neck and goes the other way.
But he's still trying to hold on to the taser, which is what.
Yeah, which
See,
I get.
He's losing the taser right there.
No, like he good. Like you can talk to him, bro.
You can talk to him.
So the guy's like twisting it out of his hand.
Yeah.
We don't need to watch the other part again.
Yeah.
But
like, again, you can have your gripes about the tactics. You can have your gripes about that kind of stuff. But my biggest issue is if you're going to do interdiction, understand the limitations that you have. Again, I'm you know what, 5'11", 230, and if I ran into a guy that was 6'5", 400 pounds or 300 pounds, I'm probably not fighting that guy by myself if I don't have to, if it makes any sense.
Well, that's another thing that really bugged me about the video, because like if you watch the whole video through, it's probably a good 4-minute gap between the first time he hits his emergency button and like even hearing sirens in the distance.
Yeah. Didn't sound like close the circuit though. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, the taser, I don't know. The taser didn't stand. Even if it did connect, there's no chance in how it did anything.
My thing is, you're clearly physically overpowered by this person. What chance do you have if they take your taser from you?
Sure. Oh, 100%. Like the suspect sealed his fate when he decided that he was going to grab a weapon while fighting an officer. To be honest.
Yeah. The fight's one thing. Like, it is what it is, man. People resist arrest all the time.
Had he just been actively resisting, and active resistance is just you're acting to get out of custody. You're not passively resisting, which means just limping and not cooperating. He's going out of his way to active resist. It justifies the use of force, but the second someone produces a weapon, and he disarmed the officer to produce said weapon, you then become a deadly threat, regardless of what that weapon is. I know I talked about, I don't think that the taser's terribly effective from that distance or whatever. Had he ripped that taser cartridge out and started dry stunning the piss out of the officer, I could see that. If he'd have dry stunned him in the face, something wild like that. Yeah, sure. Or even honestly, just start beating him with it.
That was the exact reasoning that Josh and I both had to get tased to show us physically that taser can lock up your entire body for 5 seconds. 5 seconds is plenty of time for somebody to take your gun.
Yeah, so he needs to learn BJJ, and I think Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu would have helped a little bit in that scenario. I think tactics would have done better than any amount of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu you could know.
Yeah. That officer just was not ready for that confrontation.
That's kind of what I was getting at. Is like you got to be ready to swim in the water that you're standing in, if it makes any sense. And it's not.
But my issue is you've got people lining up to like sue the department and like all these big time lawyers and all of it, and it's all media sensationalized. And people are ready to protest and riot over what, dude? I mean, because that cop wasn't prepared.
Yeah, and I think yes, instant. I agree with that. I'd rather get tased than OC'd. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
But I will say this: it was I callously say this every time I see it now. If you use the words in an officer, shoot me, I feel like that's consent. And in this instance, like I said, the second you decide to elevate an arrest to resisting arrest actively like that, you're consenting to force being used on you. And the second you produce a weapon, whether it's through disarming an officer or whatever, you are consenting to a weapon being used on you.
Yeah.
Just the nature of the beast. Don't somehow magically, literally everyone watching this, everyone that's probably going to watch this in the future, can operate a motor vehicle with plates. They can be expired plates, but
Yeah.
they will be plates that match the vehicle that he's driving. And if that's the only offense he
And
committed for it, yeah.
how many times did we pull people over with, say, like a paper plate and it didn't match? And they were
all the
like,
time.
and they could show us that they had just bought the car. Like,
Sure,
it's the dealer's fault. That's fine.
sure,
But you don't get out of the car. You don't
Yeah.
stand there and either act like you don't understand or you're making up a lie.
yeah.
Then, you know what? Like, the fastest, easiest, most surefire way is to not get shot. Don't resist.
Yeah. I've always wondered why cops don't fight dirty. I think when fighting with somebody, if it was with a male, hit him in the balls. I bet I'm with you on the idea of winning the fight at that point. And you're talking
Yeah.
about fighting dirty, and this is totally a military mindset, which I love and adore, because they care about winning the fight,
Yeah.
not necessarily how it looks and how you do it.
Welcome to
It,
modern policing.
so this is kind of what I'm getting at. Is like do you think the Rodney King call or this call was a better one to see video on? You know, and they burned a city down, justified or not. They burned a city down over somebody getting hit with a billy club, which again they shouldn't have been hitting on him the way that they were, and he resisted arrest. But like they went way past arresting
beat
him. They
the
were
shit
beating
out
the
of
shit
him.
out of that guy,
Like,
right? So like that's fighting dirty, to go and win the fight versus putting someone into custody. It's a very different methodology. When you're in law enforcement, you're not allowed to look at it as a fight until it raises to the threat of serious bodily injury or death.
Yeah.
That you're looking at. It has to be a controlled fight. It's really why the people tend to be advocates for stuff like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and stuff like that.
And
I think
I'm all for BJJ for cops, but it is
Sure.
not an end all be all. And also, this dude's probably working 40 plus hours a week. Maybe he
Sure.
wants to spend time with his family. Maybe he doesn't have copious amounts of downtime to train. I get it.
Well, and that's kind of that's my biggest. That's what kills me the most about. I almost never go out and say, "Well, that guy doesn't work out enough." That is now if this guy's like egregiously overweight, then that's shitty. But like I've had to work 60-hour weeks and not wanted to do a damn other thing. Or I've had to really the onus of the reason why I think a lot of these officers aren't getting the training is because they're not getting paid to do it.
Right.
You fully expect, and this is the funnest part about this, right? So we all get to sit back here and say, well, he should have BJJ training or he should have whatever, because the likelihood of him getting into this scenario is very high. Clearly, it happened to him. But his employer, who is again going to fully hold him over the fire for this, says, well, you're supposed to be prepared for this situation. But I'm going to do nothing as an employer to empower you. It's kind of like saying, I need you to send an email, but not giving you the computer or an internet connection.
If they really wanted to change that, work 10-hour shifts, pay cops for 12 hours, and make them prove to you that they spent those extra 2 hours working out.
Yep.
Like
And I guarantee
jiu-jitsu, working out, something.
Mm-hmm. So I think they aren't willing to actually invest in the officers actually being able to prove that they're ready to handle that situation. And I really don't think that's changing anytime soon. It needs to, because you're going to continue to see situations like this.
And he was not ready for that situation. It caught him so off guard. And you could tell by the heavy labored breathing.
Yeah.
He was shut down, dude. Like it was all his body could do to even move at that point.
And it yes, there's a training deficit there, but it's not the officer's fault that he doesn't have the training. It's the police department's fault for not providing it. No, I do feel that way.
And it's also the suspect's fault for taking his taser. That would have went
and
1,000 times differently.
Yeah. And resisting, so on and so forth. And you can talk about a lot of that. So and then that's kind of my only pushback to people that'll sit there and say, there's no excuses. You can whatever until you're in that situation doing it every day. And again, if you don't have kids and you're not married, and
I love the people that say, I saw some dumbass on Instagram. He was like, "Oh, another cop who can't do BJJ 2 days a week." Meanwhile, this guy's just a podcaster and spends his day however he likes. Like, guess what, dude? Cops don't get to live the same 24 hours you do. So, find something else to try and set people off about.
Training of any kind that pertains to the job, not just physical. Training tactics, agreed, 100%. Like I said, the backup should have been there the second that dude left that car, to be honest.
That's another humongous failure on the department's end of things. How backup didn't get to him in like 2 or 3 minutes in a city. So Grand Rapids is the same physical size of the city that we used to work in. It's 100 square miles. Population is much lower, so they don't quite have the same police force.
Tax base,
But it shouldn't take you more than 2 minutes to get to somebody. Like when their emergency button goes off and they're fighting.
And I'm gonna be honest, like even when people used to do traffic stops, like we would not allow an entire shift to do a traffic stop simultaneously. Like
right.
If Bill went to go stop somebody, I wasn't going to go stop a car immediately after. I would go linger near him, even if he didn't ask for me. Towards the end of my patrol career, I'd just go get on his traffic stop.
Yeah, we
whether
added,
he wanted
we
back,
added ourselves to each other.
Whether he wanted it back or not, he was getting one.
Yeah,
and it's for safety reasons, But
sometimes we even drive by and just do the old.
Hey, you doing good? You're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. At least I know, but. Yeah, there's no reason to do that kind of stuff.
So
100 square miles. Whoa. Yes, our city was 99 square miles.
Yeah.
Anyway, shout out to Mike the Cop here in his bougie ass little studio.
Well, it could be a little.
It could be. It could be what you have. It's different. It's different. That's like
entertaining.
You. Yeah. I got something for you. I'll stick it right up your motherfucking ass. Yeah. Come on.
Ooh.
Hey everyone, Mike the Cop, and in this video that we're going to react to today, or walk through today real quick, it has been...
We're not going to watch the whole 9.5 minutes. We're just going to watch the incident, and then you can go over to Mike the Cop's channel and finish his.
Go check it out.
You moved from TikTok, at least where I originally saw it, and it was entitled, This Cop, or When Cops, Another Cop Who Thinks He Can Do Whatever He Wants, something along those lines. But I had downloaded the video, so I still have it, and we're going to see it today. So let's go to Toddy Fresh on TikTok.
Does it matter to you? You're going straight. You ain't seen the stop sign? There's fucking kids around here. You can't blaze
the
stop sign, jerk off.
If this guy here on the left is an off-duty police officer,
he is,
and he went through the time
to get out of his car,
and yell at somebody over a stop sign,
bro. No.
Whatever happens here.
This guy is the off-duty cop. This guy got out of his car to yell at this guy, but said off-duty officer decided to get out of his car to yell back.
No, that's what I'm getting at. What, like, if he doesn't live here?
He does. I think he's a courtesy officer.
Oh, okay. That's a little different. But
I think.
If he's the courtesy officer, maybe. But
first of all, how serious is this guy about children's safety? His shorts and sock combo have shown us that's a lie. And also notice the gun that I see immediately on this guy on the left. He's definitely strapped.
Yeah, you did. You didn't stop, bro. You didn't fucking stop. You blazed through the stop sign. No, I'm not the fucking police. I'm telling you to fucking stop at that stop sign. There's kids around here.
I'm minding your fucking business, guy.
I'm minding my...
Hey, guy. Boss. What about you, chief?
I'm minding my business. I'm minding your shit, bitch.
Don't fucking talk to me like
that. Fuck you. Yeah. I got something for you. I'll stick it right up your motherfucking ass. Yeah. Come on.
The racial slang wouldn't seem to apply here.
Pause it real quick. If someone makes a threat to you, even if it's in jest or whatever.
Here, we'll watch it like this so they can see it.
So the issue I have right now, if you're armed, right, because clearly this guy's armed here, and he's getting into this verbal altercation. If somebody makes a threat, you do not have the defense of self-defense. Like Castle Clause does not apply to you here because you're in a parking lot. Nobody owns this parking lot.
Yeah.
But like you are no longer engaged in self-defense if you're engaging in a fight and it escalates. This is going to be manslaughter. Like literally right now
Well,
on its face. I'm not an attorney.
Luckily, he doesn't shoot him. So
I'm with you. But what I'm getting at is, if somebody sees this and thinks like, "Oh fuck yeah, I wish somebody would talk to me like that," this is manslaughter. You're going to prison.
yeah,
I don't care. I don't care if this guy walks into his car, grabs a knife, and starts running at you. The difference is you've been talking shit this whole time, and clearly are walking towards him while in allowing yourself to stay in a space that you do not own. So there's no castle clause
You're
doctrine.
not in fear for your life.
There's no stand your ground. None of that applies here because you are goading this fight.
Yeah.
To be honest. So if it escalates to deadly force, you smoked a guy, cool, have fun in prison. I hope you're good at stuff.
Yeah, I got something for you. I'll stick it right up your motherfucking ass. Yeah, come on.
The racial slang wouldn't seem to apply here, but what do I know? Well, I mean, words are a social construct anymore. So apparently this guy,
a social construct.
I have no clue if he truly is a cop, but let's just assume he's an off-duty cop. We'll talk about how he escalates things in a little bit, but I mean, let's be real. This man,
just a little, I guess.
Should anybody be out of their cars for a stop sign? You know, is there any reason if someone's mad at you or flipping you off on the road or yelling at you and trying to get your attention on the road, is there any reason to ever get out of your car and even enter into that situation?
No,
probably not. It's not the smartest thing, but I have no idea what led up to
Pause
this.
it
So
real
I'm
quick.
not going to pretend to know.
No, fuck no. And if you do, and this video ends up on our feed for Thursdays, I'm gonna make fun of you the whole time.
Well, thank God this wasn't in Texas.
That's true.
I do see that this guy clicks out a knife in his hands and begins to aggress the off-duty cop and say that he's got something for him that he's going to stick up his butt. Hey, there's the badge and gun. First of all, she doesn't call 911, and she's getting out of the car super calm. Like, how often do they get involved in road rage?
So this guy pulls a knife on him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what happened?
Yes. It was like a switchblade.
Was he going to detain him?
Yes.
For what?
In his mind, aggravated assault, I guess. Or aggravated battery, whatever they have in New York.
In what world is this aggravated battery?
It's New York City, bro.
Jesus.
Or New York, at least. I don't know. It's probably not New York City, but
like this last cop that we just watched is like SEAL Team 6 compared to this guy.
Yeah.
This is not.
Yeah.
This is so dumb. We'll keep watching. This is so
incidents where she needs to have the cell phone running at all times instead of calling the police. I mean, she seems too calm for this, honestly.
Can you call 911?
Ma! Did you guys catch that?
He yelled for his mom.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Ma! The meatloaf! This is every internet commenter ever, right? Talk crap online, and you probably live in your
blank forwards. Yes, I should continue to film.
He just identified himself as a cop again.
I'm telling you, there's kids around here, motherfucker. You don't pull a fucking knife. Fucking, you were coming at me.
Pause.
I'm protecting myself.
Pause. Yeah, he's fucked. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. If he doesn't see charges, that'll piss me off.
So he says that he lives there because this guy's like, you don't even live here, blah, blah, blah. So I'm assuming he's a courtesy officer. I'm also assuming after this comes out, he's no longer a police officer or the courtesy officer.
What are you doing, dude?
So, we don't need to watch the rest. If you guys want to listen to Mike's breakdown of, which is pretty funny, go head over to his channel.
What are you doing, dude? Golly, man.
Yeah.
They're dyslexic teens that can make hamburgers at McDonald's better than this guy handled this situation. Like, I was confused as to why I hadn't seen it yet until now.
Yeah. It was pretty good.
Oh my God, dude.
So this one is man threatens and spits on officer, then sues police for $15 million.
On January 22nd, 2021, an officer pulled over a vehicle after noticing it didn't have a license plate and a passenger wasn't wearing a seatbelt in Waukesha, Wisconsin.
You're probably stopping just for the no license plate.
Rather than stopping immediately, the vehicle continued slowly and the passengers could be seen moving around as if trying to conceal something.
Also known as furtive movements.
Yeah. Look at that. Already asking for another unit.
Yep.
My man. Really? He's going to stop here? What a dick.
Yep. In a lane of traffic.
Bro,
look how fast
like,
that, yeah.
Bro,
right
that's
there.
what I'm talking about.
You know they were close.
Good. Can you take your license out of there for me? You guys got IDs with you? No? Why aren't you wearing a seatbelt? No?
My guy, go against traffic. He's not trying to get written up.
Exactly.
Pause it. That guy was a veteran.
Yes.
That was a veteran cop.
Yes.
This was not his first traffic stop.
No.
This guy goes, it could very easily. And could have turned on the emergency lights.
Yeah.
It would have been perfectly acceptable for you to go against traffic for 2 seconds to make scene a smidge. I'd even block the car and to be 100%. Who gives a shit? You can make him back up or whatever and get out of the way. He was like, I ain't taking that right up. Because 100% that right up was coming if he went against traffic there. But we'll keep going.
Hey. What were you reaching around and digging for while I was trying to stop you here?
Hide my weed.
Don't reach for anything else. You were reaching down by your feet. So what's down by your feet that I'm going to find? It's not a soda that you're digging for. It took you like 45 seconds to pull over from the time I lit you guys out with the lights. Yeah, you took forever to pull over, and then she's got her head buried by her feet. Yeah. I'm dealing with both of you. I'm actually dealing with all of you because, one, you're driving, but she's not wearing a seatbelt, he's not wearing a seatbelt, and she's making furtive movements while I'm trying to stop the car.
Okay, well, so you got my license.
Yep. So
are you infringing on me because of what they're doing?
The whole thing's suspicious, yeah.
Oh, the whole thing, dude.
So I need the vehicle information. Do you have a title or anything for this?
Are you infringing on me because of them? No.
No.
I'm infringing on you because you're driving a car without a license plate. So technically, I'm not infringing on you at all.
No. Yeah, that's a one. And honestly, at that point, especially if there's furtive movement, and you're gonna have to articulate a little past just furtive movement.
Yes. Yeah.
To do a vehicle search here at this point.
Agreed.
But because you can't just
unless you arrest her for not wearing a seatbelt.
Sure, in that case, you can do search incident right. You can be king petty. Yes, you can. Could do that. You could always do that.
Josh and I have never done anything.
I've never done that ever in my life. No, I never was like, you know what?
That.
There's totally something nefarious in this car. I don't want petty arrest, but it's lawful. It's constitutionally.
Hey, that's like 90% of being a cop is knowing the law and then being able to articulate it.
Yeah.
So what if it's petty sometimes?
So it's a shout out to this backup officer.
When the officers approached the vehicle, they detected a strong odor of marijuana and noticed 2 bags of leafy substances inside the car.
Whoa.
The driver of the vehicle was identified as 43-year-old Jason Farr.
Well, you got some marijuana in the car. That's going to be probably a bigger issue, right? Because
Probably.
that's illegal. That's a controlled substance in the state of Wisconsin.
Damn.
Officer Bozeman spoke with Jason and eventually asked him to step out of the vehicle. He refused to get out and insisted on rolling up his window.
That's going to go well.
Don't roll the window up. Keep the window down.
That's not a good call.
Okay.
Deposit.
This is a drug investigation.
Plain view doctrine does allow for you if you can see it. He said that he could see it, but also you can smell it. And the smell / seeing it and then knowing what it is and the training that you've had per your academy class exposed me, and then my experience as a police officer led me to know that this is what it was reasonable for me to believe that what I was looking at and smelling was marijuana. That they have PC for this car, and honestly, you're detaining everybody at that point. Yeah, that whole car is now yours. It's a crime scene.
He just said it. He
Leafy
said this is a
substances
drug
to get
investigation.
spinach. Yeah. He said it's spinach. Blank forward.
Spinach.
Some oregano.
It's chopped up spinach, dude. It's
yeah.
fine. Taking a
So
cooking class.
We'll keep going.
Investigation, okay? You're not free to leave. You're being detained, okay? Could you turn the car off, please?
Barricade yourself in the car, bro. Blank forward.
There's no way to get in, right?
Turn the car off. Quit fucking around with the window.
I'm sorry.
Turn the car off.
This is
Hand
in
me the
pursuit.
keys.
He's getting ripped out of here at this
Yep.
point. I'm gonna be honest.
Dude, stop.
Oh, he got the keys out. My guy. Verbal judo.
Kind
I
of.
don't care.
He went from like
Stop.
2 to
Stop
10.
moving around.
Napalm bath. No, it's oregano, I swear.
He got out on his own.
My guy.
Okay?
Look at that. Escort position, my guy. He's being really cool about it so far.
Hey, stop
Oh.
fucking reaching.
Pause it. Every fucking time, dude. I'm not reading. Like, bro, I just saw you do it. Like, you just did it. Like, not like in my imagination. This wasn't like a third person's recounting of it happened. I am physically holding you, and you wiggled your arm out of my arm and reached for something.
I saw it on a
Yes, you
cave
did.
painting. I don't know
Why,
what to tell you.
why are you arguing with me about it? If you reach, if you're gonna reach, fine. But okay, it used to piss me off so much when they'd be like, I don't know what you're talking. I'm like, does this work normally? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
No,
I don't know.
I can tell you
man.
it doesn't.
Reality's a social construct, I guess, or whatever the hell. We'll keep.
So are words.
Shit,
Give a shit. I'll find your.
Why don't you guys just do me a favor? Can you put your hands up on the top of the seat here?
Yeah, that's a good idea. He's thinking with his noggin.
Both hands up on the top of the fucking seat, okay? I'm not gonna ask you twice. He's reaching around, you're reaching around. I
that's
can
a
give it away.
write-up.
Put your hands on top of the.
That's a write-up. He cussed.
Yeah, no cussing.
Put your.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I thought you moved. The way you shifted it looked like you moved your hand.
Eventually, Jason
Yikes.
cooperated, and he was placed in the back seat of Officer Bozeman's squad car.
This would be a good time to call for a third. If you have them. Unless it's like a 2-man department, then you're stuck. Yes.
You're stuck.
It's my first day on the job, right? People like to smuggle drugs.
Man, you know what, dog?
No, I don't know.
You messing with the wrong. Then why you taking my hat off, dog? It's cold as a bitch out here.
I'm team him on that. You better put that shit back on him. It's cold, man.
No, dude, he's about to get sat in a nice warm patrol car.
That's true.
Give me
I
a
was
break.
team him for that. I love that, though.
Check out that center divider.
Make sure I get my driver's license back and put on my shit. I got that red Avery's coat and my motherfucking phone is in the back seat too. I ain't got nothing, man. That's all I had was some fucking
Pause.
weed.
He knew to move his tongue because they ask you to do that in
Yep.
the jail. He's
Yep.
been arrested for drugs before. He knew the procedure and everything, dude. He didn't even ask
Yep.
questions.
Yep.
You'll get college kids that like have not really handled with law enforcement before, and they have like a little bit of weed on them or whatever, and you'll go through this process with them, and you'll say to open their mouth, and they'll be like, like they won't get it. He was like, he knew.
Maybe he's been to prison.
It's not his first time. We'll keep going.
And it's mine. All the weed is mine.
Bro, pause it. That's a real OG.
What is this?
I want to give not this person, the guy that's now detained. He's a real OG.
Yeah.
He said all that weed
He
is
knows.
mine. That is,
Yeah,
he is a better friend than anybody here. What a great guy.
But get this cigarette out of her mouth.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
We'll get you in the car here in a moment, okay?
What are you doing with these guys?
Hey, there's a third.
What's their names? What are their names?
Spread your feet.
What are we doing?
Search you better, all right? You plan with me searching you? No? All right. Anything on you I need to know about? No guns, knives, bazookas, no other drugs?
Pause it. Your answer to that is always no. I'm just gonna tell you that if an officer asks to search something, your answer should always be no. And if you're an officer, you're either frisking somebody for a weapon or have probable cause for a search. There is no in between. I'm with I get it, and if you can get a verbal and they're willing to do it, that's fine. But from a legal standpoint, bro, if that's all you're going off of.
So stupid.
And the reason I say this is I'm the defense attorney, right? And I'm going to sit there and say, well, my client felt that he was afraid that if he didn't comply with the search, that he was going to get in trouble or hurt or something.
Also, he said no.
Yeah.
Because the guy asked a question that required a no response.
Yeah.
So he could be saying, no, I didn't say you could search me. I said no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
That's.
Come on.
Yeah. There's free advice from Only Cops here.
Come on, bro. Please, man. I'm on my daughter, bro. Please, bro. I'm in, man. You're under arrest now.
Put in that car.
If he's under arrest, you don't need to ask to search him.
Blank foot. Read the comment. I'm not going to say it out loud.
Yes.
Shout out to our Patreon supporter and frequent visitor of our Discord.
Bro, Blank Forge is worth paying for Patreon just to get into the Patreon to have interactions with him. Also, shout out Artificial Galaxy. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you got your takeout. And I don't know why we're your favorite, but I'll take it.
Hey, man, what's going on? It's good to see you, my dude. Since you're here, if you're new to us here and you're just now getting in here, simp a little bit for our boy Napalm Bath because he gave us $100 super chat.
Yeah. Real MVP tonight.
Real MVP tonight.
Tied for first is Blank Forge with the comments. So
yes. We'll keep going.
Dude, listen, buddy. My coat costs more. Turn your cam on, man.
Camera's on.
My coat costs more than your car. Get my coat, man. The red Evericks. Listen.
My coat costs more than your car, but I'm driving a 1999 Lexus with no license plate.
100%, dude.
Okay.
Listen, man. My coat. Dude, when I get out of jail, it's gonna be cold.
Look, you can just keep repeating yourself over and over.
Man, can I talk to somebody else? Is it a sergeant on the scene?
There's no sergeant. There's no sergeant coming.
Can I talk to somebody else there?
No.
What you mean, no, man? You can't deny me to talk to...
That's your code.
Yes.
If your butler also has a butler, you don't need the money.
If your butler also has a butler.
You probably have a coat that costs more than someone's car.
Yeah. And a couple bags of weed.
My coat, man. Just like it's my phone. Damn. You can look in there and see I got pictures of me wearing the coat. I just took it off. Man, what the fuck you mean, man? Dog, can I give my motherfucking coat?
I'm not your dude. I'm not your dog. I'm not your buddy.
Man, none of that shit up.
What's he getting?
I don't know. Oh. Seatbelt.
As Jason was in the back seat, he became agitated. He began kicking the plexiglass and threatened to shoot Officer Bozeman and other officers.
Smart.
Seatbelt time.
I'm being harassed. I'm being harassed. I'm being harassed. I'm being harassed. I'm being harassed.
No, you're under arrest.
I'm being harassed.
Isn't it wild how flexible people get when they're arrested?
Why are we opening this door?
Well, he's about to kick something.
Yeah, so. But I mean,
let's find out.
The door gonna fix?
Let's find out. Ready, go.
Keep kicking at the window. I'm being the way to get there. You're gonna go in a van and a restraint chair. Now put your feet in.
I'm being harassed
like a human being.
I'm being harassed.
Put your feet in.
I'm being harassed. 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 I'm being harassed.
I've been here.
I'm being harassed.
If Jacob is in the chat still, what my warrant for though? I heard that phrase.
act like a human being right now, okay?
I asked you for my coat. Where my coat at? I told you my coat costs more than that car. Dude don't want to.
Oh, more than that car.
Oh.
That makes more sense. That makes more sense.
There you go.
Your mama, you white hunky. I'm glad I wasn't born white.
Okay. Jesus.
Your mama a fag.
What?
Hey, daddy. Bitch,
What?
Get my motherfucking coat.
That doesn't even make sense.
Like you went and got my phone. Remember that? How come you didn't prove that was my phone before you went and got it? So if you broke a law, you broke it. Go and go get my phone. You punk ass, rookie ass, bitch ass police. I'm being harassed. Turn your motherfucking body cam on so I can see how this bitch ass, fag ass police. Man, I still voted for Trump, but I knock your noodle out if I had a chance. If you was ever in the ghetto, I'll fuck you up on the G. I'll rob your ass, rape your ass, take your ass, all your cash.
So for those of you wondering where Josh and I worked, imagine this times like 10, 15 calls a night.
It's funny because it doesn't stress me out because I was so used to it. I still to this day.
The insults are so dumb that they're almost funny.
I try and laugh at it. It's pretty good actually. I normally they would just the repeating gets old and annoying, but at least he's trying to mix it up here.
Yeah.
But this was very common.
Yes.
This was very common.
Take your motherfucking money. Okay. I'm being harassed. I'm being harassed. I'm being harassed. I'm being harassed.
Oh goodness.
I'm being harassed. Somebody take video.
There's like 5 videos.
I'm being harassed.
Pause it. This guy just chilling here, standing. Been there.
Yep.
Been there.
Not sure why though. Push his legs in and close the door.
Oh no, I'm just saying like having to stand there and just wait for this nonsense to happen. That being said, this door should have never reopened. I would have
Agreed.
just closed that. I'd have just drove him to the jail yelling like that the whole time. And again, Jacob as my witness.
Yep.
I drove a guy all the way to the jail yelling like that. He was kicking and yelling and the whole nine. Artificial galaxy.
I'm being harassed, buddy.
So your behavior is forcing me to not have to stand here and be with you. Make sure
I'll get in control if you go get my coat.
Some auto tune in the y'all are out of control today in this comments.
Okay, where they at? What do you got right there?
Where they at though?
Right there, ain't it? With the light right there, what is that?
You remember the lady that tried to bite my junk off?
Yep.
She was just like this. Story time. That's a good one.
Including your threatening behavior.
Man, fuck you, bitch ass motherfucker.
While struggling to keep Jason in the squad car, he spat on Officer Bozeman's face.
Oh.
Man, Black Lives Matter. Your life ain't shit to me. I'll snuff it out at any moment. Bitch. Fuck you.
Yikes. Oh, what a great time for an ad.
Yes. Shout out. Someone else. Yeah.
I'm being harassed. I'm being harassed. I'm being harassed. I'm being harassed.
Oh, you know, pause it.
I'm being harassed.
That was actually pretty controlled there. That was pretty decent. That this little cupping. Now that being said, the door was shut. This wouldn't have happened. But that being said, like I said, the tactics matter.
He did grab his face and slam it into that place
He really
glass
did.
first.
He really did.
But
He really did.
I'm being harassed. Video this. They trying to kill me. Video this. I'm being harassed.
Pause it. Bro, that thumb is pretty close to getting bit. I know it doesn't seem like it, but if this guy like
if he
backs
turned
his-
quick, yeah.
I'm listening.
I'm being harassed. I'm being harassed. Video this. Video this. I'm being harassed.
There it is.
Video this. I'm being harassed. Black Lives Matter! I'm being harassed!
Pause it.
I'm being harassed!
I tell you what, I have had someone rip one of these off with just their teeth.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it in the jail.
They'll reach for like the bottom of it, and they'll like.
It's a lot of work. I saw a guy bite through it, like
get out, really
bite through the front, like.
Yeah,
it was disgusting.
Spit masks work, kind of.
Yes! Bitch!
Okay, what's his name?
Bitch!
What's your name?
Your mama!
Okay, that's fine.
Get my
All right, yo, mama.
out that car before y'all tow it!
So you gotta...
Me and mama is!
Yeah, it's...
Are you joking?
You need to spit on me. If you were in control, I wouldn't have to put my hands on you
Dude,
at all.
take your... You squeezing my face!
Pause it. The other question I have here. Are we going to keep him here or are we going to transport him?
I don't know what they're about to get him out.
Okay.
Are you joking?
Well, they have like a restraint chair. That's right.
Also, it's impossible to yell and scream that you're being choked if you're actually being choked.
Yeah.
It's also, I'd say 99% impossible to choke someone with your hand on their face like this.
Yeah, I'm with you.
99%. I don't know.
And I want to make a point to say this because again, we're 14 minutes into this, and this guy's acting like all this nonsense.
Yeah.
So most of this is actually mental illness. Like part of this is him being an asshole. Don't get me wrong. So part of it's that, but some portion of this is mental illness, whether it's put on by substance abuse, things of that nature.
Oh, for sure.
But this is not the first time he's acted like this, right?
This is definitely not his first interaction with police either.
100%. But like, at what point does another party of interest have to step in, and why is it always law enforcement? I tell you not, bro. Like Mr. Orr, that was like this every time, every time.
Asshole.
And so, like, we were the only ones that dealt with him. The city didn't want to help him. We had.
He didn't want help,
and he didn't want help. But I'm with you on that. But like, it's just like how they. I feel like it's like a 1 for every like 5,000 people you have. There's somebody like this floating
That's
around.
Probably a good ratio.
At some degree on that spectrum of like really, really severe and violent, or just like passive aggressively annoying.
Yeah.
Like
this is
it's like 1 to 5,000 for a city, and we were 400,000. I think we're just under 400,000. So we had a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot specifically on
And this guy didn't get like this till he was in handcuffs in the back of the car.
Yeah. Because
he knows he can get verbally abusive without getting like too hurt.
Sure. Oh yeah.
So
Blank Forge, you're 1,000% correct. You're 1,000%
you
correct.
Recording all this shit. Stop pressing my face. Look at my cheeks.
Ready?
Look at my cheeks.
Black Lives Matter. Look how the police doing me. Y'all being rough as a bitch.
The police didn't do anything to you. You did that all to yourself, my friend.
Your mamas. I swear to God, if I had an opportunity, I'd kill all you bitches. Sit back, please. I swear to God, I'm gonna come up here with an AK and kill y'all. That's how y'all
with an AK.
Let's see. I'm gonna look at the chat.
All right, we've had enough of this.
Yeah,
He gets in the back, he spits on the Sue's, blah blah blah.
He spits on this guy too? Jeez,
no, I'm just saying, like, that's the whole piece. Spit on
I'd like to really know about that, because I've seen and heard things about that. They, even when they give police to tackle the guy, they almost lost their job. It's true. You have to be really careful with like, and that's kind of the issue here is like when you're in law enforcement, you're signing up for being involved in these interactions, but like, there's no it's weird that there's no culpability anywhere else. You have adult protective services, you have social services, you have a host of nonprofits depending on the size of the city. You have homelessness advocates, you have mental health advocates, you have all of these people, but the onus of making sure that these people aren't plowing into somebody in their shitty car, or disturbing people at Starbucks or whatever. The onus of that really falls on law enforcement. And again, he goes and he beats a barista half to death, and it's not a big deal. Or or it makes the news, you know, and there's an uproar and all this kind of stuff. He spits in the face of said barista. You throw the coffee at the barista. It's an uproar. He gets to go to jail, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But he kicks you in the face. I've been kicked, punched, spit at, bit.
Yeah.
You name it. It occurred to me while I was on patrol, and I'd be shocked if in fact there was that one kid. I'll never forget that. I'll just use his first name, but it's Stefan.
Yeah.
But I didn't charge him when he resisted. Like it's the same ding, and honestly, I should have, because a year later he goes and murders a kid.
Yeah. In that instance, for Galaxy's question here, no, that's not excessive force.
No.
That suspect spit directly into that officer's face, which is technically assault on a peace officer, which is legitimately a felony. Yeah. And all the police officer did was, yes, he forcefully pushed that guy's head into that plexiglass, but that was to gain control of his head to prevent him from spitting on him more. Now, if he'd taken his head and bashed it into the plexiglass, now you're talking excessive force and lawsuits and stuff like that.
And again, when the term excessive, right, it doesn't mean no force, or it's an appropriate amount of force. So again, if I arm myself with a weapon while I'm in an altercation, a weapon being used on me is going to be considered adequate force. Now, if I'm a 1-year-old that threw, a plushie doll at you or something like that, like the use of a weapon is not going to be appropriate. Right. Same thing with, like, again, if I just lay on the ground and say, well, I'm not going to help you put me in handcuffs. I'm not going to help you move.
Passive.
And it's passive.
Yes.
I'm not allowed to assault that guy. No, I still have to move him.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to pull on him, and I'm going to have to pick him up and stuff like that. But
I honestly,
I go in there and put that guy in an arm bar. Like, it's not going to be
way different.
That's going to be, again, because it's not appropriate for the level of resistance. I mean, the kicking, the destruction of property, the spitting in the face, all of that is assaultive in nature.
Yeah.
And to be honest, all they're doing is trying to keep him from catching another charge.
Yeah.
And again, you're
I'm impressed he didn't
from
punch
themselves.
him.
Yeah.
Honestly, the fact that he went in with an open hand,
yeah. So and that might sound callous, but who wants to volunteer to get spit in the face?
Tell you
what,
it
says a lot. It says
somebody
a lot. Yeah.
spits in my face.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
They're not getting an open hand to the face from me.
And what's weird about it is that no one will care. But if you were in uniform, but if you were in uniform,
the whole nation would care. Then
that's right. It's a weird world we live in today. But we'll keep going. I already don't like the title of this.
Police, fire, paramedics.
911.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, it's 911. Do you have an emergency?
Yeah, we have a family problem.
Police or an ambulance?
No. Probably need a cop.
My guy, speak up.
What's the emergency, sir?
What's that?
Yes, what's happening? What's the emergency?
Oh, well, my son has got a gun, and he could...
Producer one, I'll give them the "I'm not a goat" guy.
Pointing the gun at you or someone else?
No. He's got a red shirt.
Well, hold on. Sir, what's he doing with the gun?
Waving around.
Okay. Did he threaten you with it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So.
I'm gonna get you. Okay. Don't hang up. How old's your son?
60.
60? Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Son has a gun. Okay. One moment.
Okay.
I'm gonna get my supervisor in line. Don't hang up. Okay.
This man's got to be in his 80s.
Just a second. Don't hang up.
Mm-hmm. Pause. Do you see the size of those houses on that map?
Yeah, dude. It's San Diego, so.
But geez, dude.
Yeah. I also noticed all the pools. Just saying. It's warm in Texas, so. That's loud.
It's pretty loud.
Well,
well, crazy. We have backup. Look at that.
And K9.
Yeah, come back here and talk to me. I got him. Just keep eye on the window. Come on.
Well, man looks good for being in his 80s.
Yeah, okay. I need you to come out my way. Wait, I don't want everything. Right thing he told me. Can you debrief him?
Drop the fucking gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun now! Drop the gun! Drop it!
He points at us and again he's getting shot.
Drop the fucking gun now! the gun! Drop it!
Grab a beanbag.
Get a beanbag. Beanbag up. Drop the gun!
Drop the gun, you're getting shot. I don't want to shoot you. It doesn't have to be this way. Just tell us what we have to do to make you comply.
Look at him trying. No. Nope. Yep. You can't.
Probably only took him that long to make sure he knew where he was shooting.
Grab a beanbag.
Yep.
Get a beanbag. Beanbag up.
Especially because that backdrop sucks.
Drop the gun, you're getting shot.
You have no idea what's behind that wall.
I don't want to shoot you. It doesn't have to be this way. Just
He
tell us
consented.
what we have to do to make you comply.
God damn it, Josh.
They consented. All I'm saying, that's my new rule. You're not allowed to say it.
He consented when he pointed it at him.
100%.
That was consent.
All I'm saying is...
Damn, in
Jeez,
front of his
dude,
dad, too. That sucks.
Yeah.
Put the dog away.
Yeah, I don't understand.
We want to give you first aid, but we can't approach because we see that you're armed.
I don't have my gun.
You understand?
Pause it. So you hear them making an arrest plan? He says, I don't have my gun. I got hands. This guy's clearly got gloves on, so he's going to be hands to be administering. I will say this from a from a tactic standpoint. They're assigning tasks. They're doing these things, and they're approaching it. They came up with, I thought, an appropriate amount of law enforcement officers. Yes. They came to have backup while they were trying to debrief Dad here. This guy produces said weapon and all that kind of stuff.
And good on someone to be watching in that house.
Yeah.
You know,
so it's actually pretty decent police tactics.
But this,
the dog is too much. This
dude has a gun. Why is your dog out of the car?
Yeah.
What's your dog gonna do?
Yeah.
You already shot him.
Yeah.
It pisses me off to no end.
Yeah.
Like, if you think that dogs should be deployed against deadly weapons, then you don't deserve to have dogs.
Yeah. We'll keep going.
Away from the gun so we can approach you and give you first aid. You're going to be bit by a police stop.
Why? He has a gun.
Yeah.
We fear that you're lying in wait and waiting for us to approach you to harm us.
Pause it. That is not his first rodeo. My guy. He's articulating his use of force again.
He doesn't look like it's his first rodeo. I also believe that he's the one that shot. So
yes, he was. I believe so.
Well, why is he still talking to this guy then?
That's true. He probably should be removed. I'm to be 100%.
100. There's plenty of officers there.
Yeah. Somebody needs to be taking him. He might be. I can't see his sleeve. But
I was just gonna say.
He might be the supervisor.
It looks to me like there might be chevrons there, so he might be the supervisor on scene. But
who's gonna tell him shit? But yeah, he doesn't need to be.
Don't point the gun.
He's got danners.
Over and we can approach you.
I know he's an old school guy.
Yep.
Can anybody get a seat on that side to the right or no? We can move up a little bit.
I also dig the little lanyards on the back of his sunglasses.
Yeah.
Whatever
Producer Juan said, "Ballistic shield. Where's that Magnum, though?" Producer Juan, the subject matter expert now.
The gun is still in his right arm. I believe it's in his right hand right now.
Okay. Well, that's that.
Yep. Again.
Hey, stay in the car.
Whoop.
You say it, you consent. That's my new rule for that.
Yeah. So.
Was it everything for today?
That's it.
Look at that. If you guys have any law enforcement related questions while I'm doing our outro, go ahead and let us know. We'll try to make it quick. I don't know, man. The general takeaway from this, like, people are super annoying. I think that the portion of the population that you deal with when you're in law enforcement is really, 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 I'm going to say emotionally taxing. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
That being said, you still have to hold yourself to a higher standard and act professionally. I think that should never go anywhere. I would be, and again, we call it out a lot of times when we don't see professionalism or when we don't see, what we would deem as an adequate amount of force. Heck, there's plenty of times where you'll see us come out and say, like, I don't know about that, or this could have been a little bit differently on that. And that is on you. Because now, if you're calling for the backup unit the whole time and they never get there and the situation starts going kind of wild, whatever, it is what it is. But at least you need to start cookie crumbing your way into explaining why that is that you're going to have to be doing something, and assume that a situation can escalate so that you're not surprised when it does. I think more times than not, most of the time when these use of force situations get really out of hand, it's because the officer's surprised by it,
Yes.
as opposed to waiting for it and then reacting to it. Can that be a thing? Needs to be an armored doggo vehicle. That'd be kind of baller. I agree. I'm team armored doggo vehicle. I think that'd be badass. Um, Same thing that, and I know it's starting to sound callous, but the second you basically tell a law enforcement officer to shoot you, it sounds like consent. There isn't a mental health component to that. I'm not going to downplay that. I think it's very important to look at the mental health component of a lot of this stuff, and most of this isn't normal behavior, and it's a lot of times like risky behavior. In the same way that I look at somebody that thinks that meth is a appealing thing to do, fighting law enforcement, if it seems like an appealing thing to do, then clearly there's a mental health component to this. But there's not nearly enough research and there's not enough resources that I think are allocated to that.
And
And like I
also,
said,
like we talk about all the time, why are police officers the go-to call for mental health crisis?
Yep.
We don't even get a fourth of what a mental health professional gets in training. So why is it a police officer's job to go fix a mental health crisis?
Yeah, and like Bill and I looked it up because we have an RT license thing. We got to take classes like suicide prevention and stuff like that, and if you were lucky enough, you got to go to like a crisis intervention class. And there's some of this stuff that you can learn, but the other part of this is like having experience doing it. I remember the first time someone started to make furtive movements, and I started to see people's hands. I just kept repeating, "Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands." Or put this thing down. Put this thing down. Put this thing down. And then like as I got more comfortable and you got a lot more experience dealing with environments like that, it went from, "Hey, let me see your hands," "Hey, don't do this," "Hey, what's your name?" "Hey," and then you start actually rapport building, and you start utilizing and leveraging the very small amount of time you have to use communication skills with this person, and try to be more tactical about what you're saying and what you're trying to get them to do, and that's de-escalation in a nutshell. In a lot of these situations, it comes down to control. Imagine if old spit mask guy decided to fight him while he wasn't in handcuffs and behind a patrol car. That could have gone way more sideways.
Yeah.
Um,
But
so I
notice
think
he
that
didn't.
yeah, yeah. So wagons lugging vicious eaters, lugging wagons only lugging vicious
Wolves.
eaters, wolves. Oh,
Blank Forge
oh,
wants wolves.
wolves. I see.
I'm down with it.
I'm here for it. Goatman, I'll do a really quick one. I had a writer, poor kid. Stafford was on this one. This is a Stafford story, technically. Some guy was throwing shopping carts and yelling at people in the drive-through of the Whataburger I'm talking about. And so our friend Stafford happened to be like down the street from this call, and he staged a smidge too close to it, and said person that was pissing off everybody at the drive-through decided to then approach him and then get into a physical altercation. Our favorite sergeant was the next one on scene, which is a old man that probably should have been retired a long time ago. And I was probably about half a mile down the road. I was parked. I had a writer with me, and we were talking about. I don't think he was an explorer. He's a young kid. His kid was like 19, 20.
Jeez.
And so this whole shift was like I had a domestic that was like super low energy and kind of annoying. I think I did a few traffic stops, and like I think I worked a couple 911 hangups. Like these was a very slow day, and it's like probably 11, maybe midnight. And so I just told him, "Don't get out of the car no matter what I say." And I go totally 20 over the speed limit, lights and sirens, right? Totally not any faster than that.
Probably
'Cause we're 10
19 because you're
Yeah,
a great
19
cop.
because I'm a great cop. But we're going lights and sirens to go because of 1034 traffic is an officer in distress. They're fighting. And so this poor kid, there's like the street that was running perpendicular to this Whataburger's got like a 6 lanes, probably 4 or 6 lanes. So I stop in and it's got like a suicide lane in the middle or two-way turn lane. Um, I literally just plant my car in the middle of the street and just jump out. And we fight this guy, and we end up on this like little grassy knoll, and we get him into custody, and he was fine.
The grassy knoll.
Yeah, it was a grassy knoll.
Oh my
And
gosh.
the reason this guy gets the name that he gets is once we had him into custody, he was high on some sort of narcotic. We were having to hold him on the ground, and since we're in a grassy knoll, he was like getting super irritated that we're holding him down. And so he looks up at us and he's like, "Stop holding me down." I don't think he was Kenyan, but he had an accent, and he says, "Do you think I'm a goat?" And he started taking huge chunks of grass in his mouth and chewing on it. He says, "Why are you holding my face to the ground? Do you think I'm a goat?" So, anyways, we're holding this guy here, waiting for EMS to make scene because we had to use force on the guy to get him in handcuffs. And he's sitting here gnawing on the grass of this like grassy knoll. So then we try to like sit him up.
Was this by Walmart?
Yes,
Of course
right
it
across the
was.
street, yeah.
God.
So we had to turn him over because we like, I don't know what's in this grass. Like I don't fucking die eating this grass or whatever. So we turned
Probably
him
a
over,
syringe.
and I think we used there's probably totally syringes in that grass. We used leg restraints so we wouldn't kick anybody. And anyways, we finally got some more officers on scene, and I got up and I was like, "This isn't my turn. I just came here to help." I didn't use any
I'm
leverage-based
leaving.
techniques. I didn't use, yeah.
I'm leaving.
So
Bye.
yes. So I get back to my patrol car, and I had left my patrol car in the middle of the street, my driver's side door open, everything. And here's my rider. Like a total, like frozen in time. So I get back in there and I turn my lights off and I start driving away. And he's like, he just turns over and he looks at me and he's like, "You got to take me back to the station." I was like, "What?" I still have like 2 hours left on my shift. He's like, "You got to take me back to the station." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "I can't finish this ride alone." I was like, "Is it something I said?" This poor kid got a front row seat to this like ridiculous fight with Goat Man, and this guy
Hey,
screaming.
guess what?
Crazy
He
nonsense.
probably didn't become a cop. You probably did him a favor.
And that's exactly what happened. Apparently, he said that he was interested in doing law enforcement, and that talked him out of it. And he maybe went into social work or something like that. But I felt bad.
Oof.
We did not hog tie him blank forwards. That was against general orders in my police department. We did use leg restraints, but basically we tied him kind of like we did in the video with the old spit mask guy,
Yeah.
who had the car or jacket more expensive than the car.
Put it above the knee.
You put it right above the knees, and it keeps their legs put together, but you don't tie them to the handcuffs or anything. Typically, what I would do is I'd take the hook and I'd dump it out of the door.
I can think
And
of some people who need leg restraints above their knees to keep their legs closed.
yes, that's true. That's true.
On
have an
that note,
officer- Yeah, on that note, for those of you guys that are new, we have 14 watching right now. I appreciate
hell yeah.
Producer Juan with the goat emojis. I'm going to give a special shout out to Napalm Bath, dude. He gave us an uber large super chat, which is stupid, humbling, and incredible. So I appreciate that. Thank you for joining our stream. Brian Porter has been keeping it real and throwing a bunch of blank forge is going to be put in timeout. I swear.
He's just.
I just realized you just asked if we goat tied him.
He's just making up for Sean not being here in the comment section.
Artificial Galaxy, it is really good to see you here. Scrolling. Producer Juan giving his normal bit of nonsense in the chat. Scrolling. Jacob, he got to witness Where My Warrant Go. And he's literally almost a carbon copy of that guy that we watched. He was that big of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
He was publicly intoxicated with misdemeanor warrants, and he unlawfully restrained a 14-year-old girl inside of a Pizza Hut. Or the Papa John's. You know the Papa John's I'm talking about. She was like in the corner and she was trying to leave, and he pulled her back into that corner, and apparently she had like PTSD and stuff. So I took a report on it, and he went to jail. Sternal, you dirty dog. He's hitting us with that officer money, my dude.
Thanks, Sternal. You're up late, buddy. You must not have a ruck in the morning.
Like, subscribe. You guys are cool. They
Sternal, if we would have known that you were free, you could have got on the Discord with us. You could have jumped
Sternal.
in.
That's not true at all. I love you, Sternal. Thank you for the super chat.
Thanks, buddy.
Also, shout out to Sternal. He gave, what was it, 12-mile ruck march?
Yeah.
This man.
Wednesday morning.
He ran more in that 12-mile ruck march in one day than I have probably all year since I've left policing.
That's a fact.
I walk a lot though. I do walk a lot.
Well, rucking isn't like running.
It isn't running. Yeah, but it's with the
heavy.
rucksack and all that. Yeah, that's gotta be rough.
Heavy.
I keep scrolling. Jacob got to join us in this. It was good to see him. 10Q, my guy, he followed us from TikTok. Go check out our TikToks. We have a bunch of stupid stuff on there, but they're funny.
Like the stupidest.
Reese 408, my guy. I appreciate him being here. He was talking about the short mic holder, the mic loop guy. Scrolling. And that's it. That's everybody that was here. So I appreciate everybody that chat, gave engagement to us here. Obviously, if you're new to the channel, you should subscribe if you like these kind of discussions. You want to learn law enforcement stuff, I guess, in a funny context. Give a special thanks to Bill and his very beautiful First Form shirt and his beautiful man cave. First Form, we're simping, not sponsored.
Oh, super simp, bro.
Blank Forge says, rucked me up. I want to give a special shout out to Chris the cop. He has been joining our Let's Plays and putting up with our shenanigans here. Hey, what's going on? CMDR Sweeper. Sternal Jet, you need to talk about your alter ego, Turnal Jet. What? The button goes, what the fuck? I just stopped reading comments.
He came from Chris's channel, so.
Oh my god.
He knows something we don't.
We all need to do a code. So my plan here, I'm not doing a 12-mile. I'll do a 12-mile backpack hike or whatever. I
Where are your
won't do a
plates?
ruck march. I'll do my plates. I'll do my plates. We'll do a 12-mile hike in plates.
Deal.
But I want to do we can get like a rental property and we'll do like a big. We'll do the coffee with the cop.
Yes.
We got to bring everybody there, and then I guess find a balaclava for.
SWAT, yeah. We'll get him a Texas flag one.
Hell yes, dude. That'd be
awesome.
incredible. He would love that. So, anyways, we have some stuff in the pipeline. I thank you guys for following us on that kind of stuff. If you really like this stuff, and I guess got that super big dick energy money, like where was he at here? Napalm Bath. Go join us on Patreon. It's as low as $1 a month. It gives you access to our Discord. Our Discord is how we organize most of this stuff. I believe we have the Halo Master Chief Collection. I don't think it's on sale anymore. Maybe it is. We're going to be doing some Let's Plays on that come Tuesday. I feel like I'm forgetting something on that. We have patches coming out soon. Producer Juan designed us some pretty bitchin' patches. Go ahead and go check out those things. I feel like I'm forgetting something, Billiam.
I don't think so.
Okay. For those of you that don't know, we are going to be also starting to do some potentially getting into some training stuff. We're trying to get some IFACs in people's hands. We've got some pretty big projects down the road. If you guys want to know more information about that, like I said, you got to join our Discord, which is done paywall. Like I said, you got to join our Patreon group. We made it super cheap, so you can do it. Producer Juan said he's going to carry a camera bag.
I love it.
Without anything else, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for riding 3-man with us today. Oh, it's just 2-man today. It'll be
2-man.
Special thanks to Napalm Bath again. You are